Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Onrain Tech Corner, the corner of the web where we talk about tech. And I just got one message for the Pokemon Company. You tried. Alright, now hear me out. I've played Pokemon Scarlet and Violet kind of since it came out in November of 2022. And I was going to release a video within the month. Then I got busy and pushed it off. And then again. And then again. So, better late than never, I guess. After putting almost 40 hours into it, I figure it would be a better time than any to kind of release a video on my thoughts on the game. There's been so much backlash from the Pokemon community, everywhere from national decks, or lack thereof, the open world gameplay, that kind of thing. Mostly glitches, bugs, exploits. And it's kind of funny, the speedrunner community is actually a little mad that they can't speedrun this game. Which I found out that you can go right to the D4. I guess is what it's called in Scarlet and Violet. Within like 10 minutes after getting through the first 2 hours of cutscenes. But yeah, the main things that kind of bother me about the game is all the pop-ins. Like, I expect pop-ins on PC games, maybe some PlayStation games, like PlayStation 2 kind of deal. But Nintendo Switch doesn't really have a history of pop-ins unless the game is severely poorly optimized. Which this game really shows a lot of that unoptimized kind of visually. Now I'll get into that later. I'm going to show you a few clips here, and it really just shows that the shadows are existent and non-existent all at the same time. Some animations in the background are slower than the ones in the foreground. And this is on top of the numerous bugs that both I've encountered and the community has encountered. And man, I can only contribute this to like one of two things. A, they've bit off way more than they could chew on this title. And two, they developed it for the wrong console. Now, don't get me wrong, the Switch is a great console, but you gotta remember, the Switch came out in 2017. There has been no hardware improvements other than the OLED model, which only updates the screen and the base. But other than that, nothing else has really changed in, 6 years? 5-6 years? So, I'm going to break down what I think happened and what I think should be improved moving forward. Alright, so I just want to first mention about the story, or the three stories that there actually are. Everything has been well thought out, well done in that matter. Like, you got the Victory Road story. There's a story about the one where you go with the professor's son to go find some, I think they're called herbs mysteria. And then you got the one Operation Starfall. Yeah, and I like how they actually kind of combine them all together. Although it's not very clear on, like, other than the gym storyline, there's not really a clear path where to go. And apparently the Pokemon centers have a help option of where to go, but they point them in the direction of the closest gym Hysteria, or or Team Starbase. So that's kind of one problem with everything being open world, is that the clear choices isn't really clear. And I found looking at a guide to be literally the best option. There's one thing I would actually fix with the story. Actually, it's the progression of the story is the main issue here. The one thing I would actually change with the progression of the story is keep the open world, but open it up slowly. Go from badge 1 to badge 2 to badge 3, where we just choose the Operation Starfall story. Go from one base to another, and just keep the progression level very linear. Because I found out through my first playthrough that I went from Gym 1 to Gym 4 by following it counterclockwise. So that was a whole thing. Yeah, with the story covered, I just want to get I just want to cover some of the suggested problems with the game. Apparently, there's a lot of modders and everything that are saying that there's memory leaks. And if this game is made with the Unity engine, as I suspect it is, memory leaks are never really an issue. Actually, I do want to explain memory leaks. Apparently, within Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, they were saying that there are modders out there that are saying that the game has a severe problem with memory leaks, and I have a problem with that. Because if they're using the Unity engine, as I suspect they are, memory leaks are not a problem. It's designed within the game engine to not have memory leaks due to its high-level programming. Memory leaks happen on the low end of the spectrum, where, like, back in the old like Windows 95, 98, PlayStation 1, Game Boy Color, that era of games, it was very easy to get a memory leak if you forgot to end a cycle of programs. To summarize, what a memory leak is the program not knowing that it stopped running. But again, if they're using the Unity engine and they're not doing any low-level programming, I don't think memory leaks are an issue. And another problem that the community is having that I do kind of want to address in defense of the Pokemon Company, and that is the animations. Now, yes, you do have those glitchy animations that are funny as heck, but I'm talking about like in regular gameplay, and you're not trying to break anything. You'll notice that the animations in the foreground are running smoothly at like 30 or 60 FPS, whatever the game is set to. And you'll get animations in the background that are running at like half that. And I have an explanation. I don't know if it's the explanation. One of those I was thinking about up until about a month ago is that some game engines have limitations, and I was thinking that they reached the animation limitation of the Unity engine. But thinking back to when I was learning Unity back in college, and some of the programs or some of the games that I was developing on the as a hobbyist, Unity has a large amount of animations that I could play at once. Like, I could play a lot of animations and the only slowdowns you'll get if you exceed the computer's or devices CPU or memory limitations. So what I think is happening here is that the game developers are using a level of detail system in which has been evident in different YouTubers such as Boundary Break. And what they're doing is prioritizing what's in the foreground or what's closest to the camera versus what's in the background. So that's where you'll get animations that are running slower. They'll run slower to save on memory. Which I think is great. Although I do think they could have smoothed out the animations just a little bit, because they're really reminding me of like PS1 style background animations here. Another issue I do want to bring up with Scarlet and Violet is the lack of a national dex. Now, I know they have, I think it's like 1,008 Pokemon, and to program them all with serialization is a mighty task, but they already gone up to 400. They're almost halfway there. Could you, like Pokemon Company, please, if you could, put the rest of them in the DLC. I'll happily pay like another $10, $15 for a DLC, like maybe an extra map. But please put all the Pokemon in. You've proven you can do it with your side games. You can do it with Pokemon Home, and Pokemon Home is kind of useless in this generation, and the generation before that. It only works up until the end of the Pokemon Bank era. We kind of need one game with them all in it. You know, gotta catch them all. Okay. But national dex, or lack thereof, aside, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are actually really good games. But I just think they were developed in the wrong time. They did address the community's problems with linear gameplay. They did make an open world. But I think it was just one generation too early. If we just had like one more game like Sun and Moon or X and Y, somewhere along those lines, and the Pokemon Company just waited one more generation to put this on newer, more powerful hardware, I think this kind of concept would have worked great. But I think it was just released way too soon. So yeah, you know, those are my thoughts. If you agree with them, that's fine. If you don't, you know, that's your opinion. But you know what, I do kind of want to hear from you guys. Post a comment down below. What do you think about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Do you think they're great games? Do you think they would have worked better on more powerful hardware? Yeah, just please let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and if you're not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. We do a lot of tech-related videos. We're going to be doing videos on older operating systems and software reviews, that kind of thing in the future. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video, everybody.